folks, Charlie Sims here, welcome to my channel. Hope you are having a lovely day and thank you for joining me for a speed build. So today we are rebuilding the Goth residence, but if Bella and Mortimer were paranormal investigators. So we had the seance table and a lot from the paranormal stuff pack, as well as just giving the Goth residence the makeover it deserves. This build uses just the base game and the new paranormal stuff pack, so if you'd like to download this, you can search my gallery ID, charlottemneill, in the gallery and it should be in the results. So I'll just show you the picture of the Goth household. So I make sure that this rebuild is just as dark and gothic as the original, but more grand. The shape is also inspired by the Queen Anne architecture, and we include some towers too, a wraparound porch and some balconies. There's a lot of balconies in the original, so I wanted to keep that. The inside is also still red because I wanted to make sure the residence stays true to the Goth family, but I also add a few things that I think a couple of paranormal investigators would have, but we'll come to that later when we place those items down. So at the moment I'm making a balcony at the front and I haven't even started on the sides and back of the house. I'm just concentrating on getting the look I want on the front. I think the original Goth residence looks great on the world map. How dark it is really stands out, but when you go on to the lot, there's a lot left to be desired. So I wanted to spend a lot of time on the shape of the house to make sure it stands out as much as the colour of the home does. And I've really said everything at this point about the exterior anyway. It gets like a bit more fun when we get to the back of the house, but I'll talk about that when we get to it. So yeah, I'll just talk about the paranormal stuff pack. So I'm still loving the pack items and I'm finding them very versatile. I always find it difficult as soon as the pack releases to say whether the items are items I'm going to use all the time in the future, because I don't know whether I'm just really enjoying them now and the novelty will wear off. But I think if I were to take a guess, I think I'll definitely use the plants loads. But I use all the plants because I think I put so many plants down in certain builds that I run out of unique and different plants. But definitely the plants we get with this pack and that hanging plant are stunning, and I think the wallpaper and couch in this pack I'll use all the time. And I'm so happy we have a comfy and cozy looking couch with scatter cushions, especially because we got two lovely rounded couches recently, one in Tiny Living and one in Nifty Knitting, with beautiful swatches. But I don't know why they were rounded, because I've never been to someone's house who's got a rounded couch before. I'm not saying The Sims invented rounded couches, but I don't know, like, do people still sell rounded couches? Are they still in circulation? Because I've just never seen one. And they also look tiny, so I'm just happy we have like a nice big couch. That's what I was getting at. But yeah, so in conclusion, my take on the items from the pack are couch, 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 cowplant, terrarium, plants, all in capitals, amazing. But now we are working on the back of the house, and I think this build is like very business in the front, party in the back. I had a lot of fun with the back. We do add an observatory, as you can see, and they only need this much room to get into the observatory, and there's a ladder up to the observatory too. And the idea behind this was that because the observatory had a satellite dish on it, it detects nearby haunted houses, which is totally stupid, but I thought it was a bit of fun to pretend. It was a good excuse to include that in the build because it looks quirky and fun. And now I'm just adding some more details to this balcony at the front and just fiddling about with the roof, but we still haven't even placed the windows down, and then I darken everything because I've just been using like the default colour of the fence and the spandrels and the columns, and of course I have to darken everything down, but I do cut that from the video. But now I'm just putting the windows down, and I'm so happy once I put the windows down. I feel like the build really starts to come together and pop as soon as I add the windows and then when I darken it down as well. And it was actually surprisingly easy to use base game things. I kind of forgot that I was using base game, and I have like all of the packs, and sometimes I've got so much choice that it takes me a really long time to make decisions. So I actually really enjoyed doing a pack restricted build, and I might be doing a few more of them. So I actually used James Turner's website where you can disable the packs. You just select the packs you want to disable, or to be a bit quicker, you can just select the base game icon and then it disables the rest of the packs, and then you can click the packs that you want to use, and then you have to copy in the generated command into command line in your game settings on Origin, or I have Origin anyway. I'm not sure how to do it on other servers. And I like disabling the packs before going into the game because it saves filtering by pack. And of course, every time you use the eyedropper tool to duplicate an item, everything you filtered on is reset, and I use the eyedropper tool all the time, so it gets really annoying. So I just really loved having less choice and being able to disable packs. And actually, these base game windows are really nice. So now I'm darkening up the build, and I think it looks great once I do this. Once I darken everything, it starts to look like the goth household, and yeah, I really like that. And back to the fact that this is like a base game restricted, I normally have when I do a base game build, I struggle to furnish because there's a lot of items that I don't like and don't want to use. But the furnishing was fine here for a couple of reasons. So, because I can use the paranormal stuff pack items that I love, and also because throughout most of the house, and you'll notice when we jump into the interior, throughout most of the house I use quite a busy wallpaper that had paneling, which meant I didn't feel like I had to cover every wall with paintings. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you ever struggle with base game builds and furnishing them like I do, I would just pick a really busy wallpaper because it really helped me out, because I think we don't get a lot of paintings with the base game. I did use in the living room, I did use the paranormal stuff back wallpaper because I love it, and it meant I could use the new paranormal stuff paintings, which I really like, that cluster of paintings. But as you can see, I am now adding a pond at the back of the house, and I didn't realise you can size a pond down with no changes to the aesthetic of the pond. I thought this wasn't possible, and I was just trying it to double check, to be honest, but I was super happy that they can be sized down now. I don't know if that's new, but anyway, I added that landscape detail because I thought it was a bit of fun, and I couldn't see the goths owning a pool or anything, but maybe a pond. So we are almost done with the exterior of the house. I just need to sort the driveway out and then just flesh out the back a little bit. So we end up putting some patio furniture down, table and chairs with an umbrella, a barbecue, and then later on we do put some sun loungers on that balcony. And now I'm just pulling out some debug fence because I thought the aesthetic of that gate is really nice. And I also add a van at the front, and I really like the look of this van. I can imagine the goths putting their seance table in the van and using the satellite dish to determine how haunted a house is or something, which is like totally stupid, but I thought it was just a bit of fun. And now I'm just fencing off the front of the home, just making like a little driveway. I do make sure that there's enough room for the car to get out, just because I normally get read by my boyfriend and my sister for just not making sure that there's enough room for the cars to get out. So all of my friends that drive, I don't drive. I mean, I know how to drive, I just don't. So yeah, I kind of get read for that sometimes. So I just wanted to make sure that there was enough room for the car to get out for the realism as well. But I wanted the goth manor to be closed off and have a big driveway. And I'm just adding a few more details to the exterior before moving on to the interior. We are pretty close now. I just add a drain and some pavement slabs up to the front of the home because it is all pebbled, so I think it's realistic to have some slabs. And now we're on the inside, and I go about working out the floor plan in quite a weird way. I first of all just place some essentials, so I definitely knew that I wanted the dining room in that section there, And then I always want the kitchen off the dining room. And I do a trick with the counters that I've done before in a minute. I basically place a dishwasher down on where the counter should be, and then I size down the dishwasher, and that means you get the countertop and you don't get the counter drawers, and I really like how that looks. I only wish now we could make the washing machines go under them, and maybe we can with the tool mod actually, because the tool mod has a scale, so I might actually try that. I didn't even think about that until literally just now. Basically, this is how I come about kind of working out the floor plan, because I don't really mind at this moment where the stairs go. I just want to make sure that we have a big enough living room and we can put a grand piano somewhere. So the first thing I do is put down an essential item. The grand piano, of course, which is has always been in the Goth household to my knowledge. So we put a grand piano down, and I end up putting the seance table in the living room because we don't have any room upstairs. Well, it's not that we don't have enough room, we just need to fit 3 bedrooms upstairs, so we end up not having enough room for a seance table, but it looks fine in the living room. It fits in with the living room, and we also have this little entertainment area as well with the grand piano and just a couple of chairs and a bar that I just will add later. But this is just me working out the placement of the staircase now that I've basically done the lower level floor plan. So after I put the essentials down, forgetting a bathroom of course, the floor plan comes about pretty quick. So here I am trying to squeeze a bathroom in, and we end up having 3 bathrooms and of course 3 bedrooms because we have Alexandra, Mortimer, and Bella. And I do start by adding this wallpaper in from Paranormal Stuff Pack, but then I think it's a lot. So we end up going with some red paneling, and also at the moment, like I really like the swatches that come with this pack, but we either get a bright red or purple. So I wanted like a bit more of a muted red, so that's why we go with some paneling and we just use the purple in one room, because I do predominantly want the Goth household to be red inside, but this is just like too bright. But anyway, we change it later, and I'm making a little entertainment area at the moment. It's just got a couple of chairs and the piano just for entertaining some guests and a bar in, and I think that's pretty nice. And this is where I changed the wallpaper to just like a muted red, and I think that's really nice. But we still put the paranormal wallpaper in the living room, because I think a lot of the paranormal stuff we get is kind of for a living room, so I wanted to kind of have a bit of fun with the living room and just use all of the stuff from the new pack really, because I'm like obsessed with the stuff from the new pack. And this is just me taking a look at some of the swatches for the couch. We end up changing the living room to a purple because, yeah, I just think the red's really bright. And even though this isn't red, it's like more of a purpley red, I still think it fits in with the Goth household, especially looking at the kitchen tile that is like a slightly purple red. I feel like it all still kind of goes. So the predominant colour scheme is just red, and then we get a bit of purple. Well, it's like kind of hot pink, because we get a lot of hot pink with the base game. It's like kind of weird. We basically have a hot pink room that's like Alexandra's room that still has the red paneling, but there's a lot of hot pink furniture. So hot pink slash purple. So I think the purple kind of fits in with the whole of the house. I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted about how I feel about the purple living room, but looking at it right now, I think it fits in with the home. But now we are just finishing off cluttering the kitchen up before moving on to the dining room and just adding some finishing touches, because as I said, I placed the essentials down, but not like the little finishing touches like curtains and plants and things. So that's what we do here. I feel like these curtains as well also tie the red nice in with the purple, because there's like some red accents on these curtains, so I'm quite happy about that as well. I really can't get over how vibrant but versatile the swatches are on the items that we got with Paranormal Stuff Pack. I'm just so happy with the whole pack, just having a lot of fun with it. And now I move on to the corridors, and we just add a load of console tables and clutter the console tables up. As I said, we use a really busy wallpaper so that I don't need to fill every single wall with paintings, which is really nice. We also have a lot of windows in this build. I also do end up sizing down this big plant that we got with paranormal stuff as well. I absolutely love that plant. It's just really big, but if you size it down, it doesn't clip so much into the wall. You can kind of like make it work. And now I'm just adding some things you would typically find in a entryway before moving on to the bathroom. And I have used this colour scheme in the bathroom before in my latest build, so apologies for that. I'm just like a little bit obsessed that I can match this base game tile with the new floor that we get from Paranormal Stuff Pack. Now I'm onto the upstairs floor plan, and I create a mezzanine, and we actually need to squeeze 2 staircases on the second floor because we have a third floor leading up to the observatory, and I do wallpaper and floor the third floor, but there's a lot of roof clipping, so I don't furnish the third floor because it's not made to be playable. It's just a way of getting to the observatory. And now you will have just seen me make room upstairs so I can wrap the staircase to the third floor around the mezzanine to make space for a corridor leading to the bedrooms and the family bathroom. And we do add a ensuite onto the parents' bedroom as well, Bella and Mortimer's. And the floor plan of the second floor does end up working out for us, but it is like a bit of a struggle because once we put the 2 staircases in, we actually don't have a lot of room to work with. And sorry, this is just me temporarily switching back to downstairs to squeeze the seance table in after realising that we aren't going to have room to squeeze the seance table in, and I just add a picture of Gidry as well. And now we are back upstairs. So yeah, as I said, it's quite a tight squeeze upstairs just because of how much space the 2 staircases take up, but we make it work. And upstairs we have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, a family bathroom and an ensuite. Not too much to say about the bathroom, to be honest. It does start off quite cramped, but then we extend it out into the corridor and we end up fitting a bath in there. I was hoping to fit a bath shower combo in the family bathroom, but the placement of the windows meant that we just couldn't fit in a bath shower combo because it would have intersected with the windows. So we just put a bath and then some soap and a soap dispenser, and before moving on to Mortimer and Bella's room. And there's a base game grand bed that you would have seen me pull out that I know Bella and Mortimer do have, and it probably is a bit more to their taste, but I think it's really gaudy. So we end up swapping it out for this like nicer kind of country looking bed, if that is even a thing. And I think that just looks a lot better. And now I'm just cluttering up a end table and adding a rug. We use this rug everywhere throughout the build, and these curtains as well. And we leave out the footage of the ensuite because it's really similar to the other family bathroom and I don't want to like bore you guys. So we move straight on to Alexandra's room, which I really like. So originally Alexandra's room is like a purpley kind of hot pink, because as I said, we do get a lot of hot pink with the base game. So I just kind of worked with what I could and tried to make everything match, but not really. So it's kind of like we leave the red paneling because I actually think it looks quite nice here, so we leave the red and we just have a lot of purple features. And I really like this bit as well. So she also has like a kind of loft space, a loft leading to her bedroom, and I guess it's just permanently got the ladders down, right? Because normally you can pull out ladders of your loft room, but we don't have anything like that in The Sims. But I quite liked that idea, and she's just got like a little study nook, and it's where she keeps her fish as well, and I thought that was a really nice idea. So originally Alexandra plays the violin, so we include the violin, and then I include an easel as well, and this dresser from Paranormal Stuff that I put in the purple swatch, and it's got a bit of blue, but I still think that's kind of nice, and I think it goes in with the bedroom. And then we add some curtains. So yeah, just using a lot more of the pack. I also really like the desk that comes with the pack as well. I think it's stunning. And then we move on to Alexander's room, and he's got a really weird room. It's like he hasn't really got a personality. Well, I don't know, his room's just kind of red, like his parents, like the entire house. It's just very red. He's got a single bed and a chessboard, but we got a chessboard outside, so But because he originally had a chessboard in his room, I think I'm just trying to remember now whether he does. He doesn't have a lot in his room at all, but I think maybe he's a bit of a geek, so I give him like everything that we got with the base game really for kids, the science table and the crafts table. The crafts table that we now have just too many of, in my opinion. And yeah, I just give them both a little homework book and yeah, just some kids clutter. I mean, not too much because we don't get too much with the base game, and also Alexandra seemed quite neat, like a neat kid. And then we just add some sun loungers to this deck at the top, and then we are onto the screenshot. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more content from me, please hit subscribe. Catch you later.